This video is to address one of the 4 principles of nutrition, quality. This is arguably the most important of the 4 principles. There's quality, quantity, consistency, and balance. And quality is something that if you focus on eating primarily whole, unprocessed foods, that you can see a dramatic difference in your health, your clarity, your ability to combat disease and injury, your ability to recover from disease and injury, and even body composition goals if you have changed nothing else. Quality is going to be a great thing to focus on. This program focuses on quality of food being mostly whole foods. Whole foods are foods that are processed and refined as little as possible, and they are free from additives or other artificial substances. One of the things to look for when creating a quality diet is that some foods are definitely more nutritious than others. They are more nutrient dense, and the macronutrients are in the best balance for most goals. So here is a handy guide on how to build a plate with quality foods. So here it's broken down into protein, carbs, and fats. So quality proteins could be eggs, fish, chicken, turkey, lean beef, and then other more interesting items such as bison and wild game. These are chosen to be a better quality because they are more balanced. They are not super heavy in fats or other additives that they're just straight from the animal. Down here near the bottom, you can see that plain Greek yogurt, cultured cottage cheese, and tempeh are also considered quality proteins. This is because they have very little additives. It is very small amount of processing that these products go through to be created. With the carbohydrates, we're looking for whole grains and starchy veggies and fresh and frozen fruit as quality choices. You want to find items that are going to be minimally processed, and what that means for whole grains is that usually the exterior of the grain, such as brown rice, is going to still be intact, whereas white rice would be processed and that exterior is removed. The carbohydrates that are going to be best for any goals is going to be complex carbohydrates, so things that are very little refined. So white flour would be considered a refined carbohydrate. Here you can also see that plain non-Greek yogurt is in there as well as plain kefir. These tend to be a little bit higher in the sugars, lactose, so they are in the carbs section. In fats, the quality fats straight from pressed foods such as olives and avocados and walnuts are going to be very quality, minimally processed choices. There are also some cheeses that are going to be less processed than others, although there's a wide range of that, so be careful. Finally, nuts and seeds are, of course, very much a whole food. Something like nut butters might be something that you would consider minimally processed, as well as anything like marinades and spreads that are just changing the shape of the ingredients as opposed to having actual extra additives in it. Here's a category of eating some. So some processed meats are going to be in there, as well as other yogurts and milks and juice vegetables that might have some added sugar or just are really concentrated in sugars. There's white rice. Of course, the exterior of the rice is removed. Couscous is a more processed product, and granola as well tends to have additives in it. Fats are also not, all oils and fats are not created equal, so here's a list of some fats to eat a little bit less of. And then finally, we get into the realm of things that you really want to keep minimized. So this includes all sorts of junk food, of course, but may have a few things in here that might surprise you, such as cereal bars, fruit juices, flavored milks, honey, molasses, and syrups and jellies, crackers, and then, of course, butter and processed cheese and vegetable oils. Some of these are in here because they just are very high in fat. Some are in here because they are very concentrated in sugar, and some are in here purely because they just have a lot of additives and extra added sugar that is going to be more harmful. Finally, alcohol, of course, is in the eat less. By reducing your alcohol consumption, it's going to improve the processes of your body. So alcohol should be on an eat less basis. That's pretty much the rundown of quality foods. So again, we're looking for whole foods that is going to be minimally processed. And to keep it as simple as possible, especially in the beginning, look for single ingredient whole foods, things that are extremely easily recognizable that do not come with a nutrition label. Produce and meats and whole grains such as rice are going to be very much easy to identify as whole and minimally processed foods.